the reason he closes the show in scintillating fashion. Bell and round one set for 12. Happy to be a part of this co-production with our friends at Sky Sports. Carlos Takam, the challenger, black with silver. Joshua, the champion, in his colored trunks of white with green trim.
Takam trying to come out with a certain rhythm, trying to get, maybe throw a little bit of confusion out Joshua's way, but he's backing up. He's still being careful, despite trying to bring this rhythm.
Takam has a very good overhand right. He thinks, though, the left hook might be something that will hurt Joshua, and Dylan White, who did hurt Joshua with the left hook.
Takam, as rugged as the Welsh coastline, enters boxing's version of the upside down on just 12 days' notice, and he hopes to turn the rejuvenated heavyweight division upside down tonight.
What he's trying to do with this movement, his head movement and rhythm, it'll keep Joshua from landing cleanly, but he's gonna have to flow some offense out of that movement, otherwise Joshua will start to hone in on the trajectory.
Both of these pugilists have recorded 5 first-round knockouts.
I'd like to also see Joshua cut off the ring a little bit. So far, Takam has kind of been circling it all the way to his left, moving a little bit to the right. But you start cutting off the ring, you start to apply that mental pressure there.
Joshua and Takam before the storm as we reach the midpoint of this first frame, and definitely a feeling out process as Joshua looks to go to the body.
Joshua told us that I believe I need to plant my feet against him. And to do that, of course, he's going to have to get Takam to stop moving. Takam showing us a lot of movement in round one.
Another thing he's going to do is make sure he doesn't smother himself. You plant your feet on Takam, he has a way of getting inside your chest. And, as a shorter man, when you're the taller man, it's hard to kind of leverage those shots when he's inside like that.
Under a minute left in the first round. It's Takam's 3rd fight of the year. He's recorded back-to-back knockouts since losing the hard-fought battle with Joseph Parker, who is now another heavyweight belt holder.
I'll tell you what, though, man, Takam is moving a lot, and even that upper body movement is moving a lot. He's got to be in shape to keep this up for all the rounds.
He's a very tricky fighter, both inside and outside.
Final 15 seconds, a cautious opening round here. Again, Joshua was preparing for Kubrat Pulev.
Yeah,
takes on Carlos Takam on short notice.
Very different style from Pulev.
We'll take a look at the keys to victory for these two men. And we'll begin with Anthony Joshua. He's much bigger, clearly. He wants to be physical if he can get Takam to slow down. The body punching, very important for Joshua. He can hurt you badly downstairs. He has one of the best uppercuts in boxing, and Joseph Parker was able to land that punch very effectively against Takam. As for Carlos Takam, changed geography. We've seen one part of the geography, him on the outside. He also wants to get on the inside, past the jab where he can work. Got to keep his hands up. He tends to lower them sometimes. One mistake against Joshua means the end of the fight. The overhand right is a big punch for him. I think if he gets a little bit on the inside, he can land that punch.
The bell and the second round. Takam training at a gym named after France's greatest boxer, former middleweight champion Marcel Cerdan, who actually passed away 68 years ago today, killed in a plane crash on his way back to the United States for a rematch with Jake LaMotta.
Tragic story in many levels.
And Jake just lived up until about a month ago.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Meanwhile, Joshua continuing to maintain his training regimen. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. And really is a Spartan lifestyle in training camp, Paulie, for Anthony Joshua. A man who's already made millions. He really does not want to get disconnected, as there was a clash.
That's the thing about the shorter man, you know, coming in like that. Also the bald head.
But Al, Joshua's really remained humble and really connected to his roots.
He really has. And, you know, when we talked with him, you know, he's an interesting man because he just talks to you. That's part of the charm of him. He doesn't pontificate. He doesn't seem like he's playing anybody. He just talks. There's the uppercut from Joshua. That's so effective.
About that. It's been incredibly effective against the likes of his domestic rival, Dylan White. He finished White with the right uppercut. Hit Klitschko with the right uppercut. There's a sweeping left hook for Joshua that backs Takam up.
Yeah, I think that butt he took maybe angered him a little bit. Also some blood out of his nose. That's probably from the jab of Takam.
And Takam has a melatonin-flavored left hook of his own, but right now it's Joshua imposing his will and skill on the challenger as we cross the midpoint of the second round.
Takam's got to get back on that jab. You know, you got to make Joshua respect that distance.
See the combination punching from Anthony Joshua. He is not a one-trick pony. He's not one-dimensional in the ring.
The second round has been Joshua's most effective. He's recorded 8 of his 19 knockout victories in the second stanza. Under a minute left now here in round 2. Just missed with the right uppercut.
But a nice jab by Takam. He's been consistent with that. You know, it's bloodied the nose of Joshua. Joshua's got to start cutting off the ring a little bit. You know, if you make Takam uncomfortable, he does stop using that jab as he was about a minute ago. But you got to start cutting the ring off besides landing those combinations. You got to give him the effect that he cannot escape this pressure. And right now, if the ring is not being cut off, Takam can feel like I can escape here and there.
Lead left hook that was partially blocked by Joshua. Right hand misses for Takam.
But what that did, it allowed him to get breathing space. Joshua backed off. And that's all Takam's looking for here and there. He's looking for a little breathing space. He's looking for a way to turn the corner.
Nice jab through the guard by Joshua.
They always say you can jab with a jabber, right, Mo?
Mm-hmm.
There was a moment that could have been dangerous on many levels, potentially a cut that could have impacted his fight there. Oh, Takam coming in and his head blasted the face of Joshua. And he led with that head very strongly.
And that could have busted the nose of Joshua there instead of the jab.
We see the pain there. And then later on in the round, on the inside, the left hook of Joshua. Joshua's a big, tall man, but he can work on the inside like that.
Punch your way in, move off the side, come again. That's the way you want to get.
Third round underway. Scheduled for 12. Anthony Joshua in the 4th defense of his championships, and just landed that right cross, grazing the jaw of Takam.
And that was a nice counter. Takam didn't fully commit, so he didn't take the full brunt of it. But a nice counter, and Joshua has shown that in the past. He dropped Charles Martin with that counter right hand as well.
Also, just a reminder, we may not hear the corners as well here as you're used to hearing them on our Showtime broadcast.
Tricky rhythm by Takam. But again, you see how he's able to turn the corner to his left? Joshua's got to do a little bit better job of cutting that ring off so Takam doesn't get comfortable escaping to that left every time.
A measured approach by Joshua, coming in at a career high 254 pounds. He said that he was still growing here, now turning 28 just 13 days ago. He said that he feels he was the fittest he's ever been out. Oh, nice right hand by Takam.
Just to finish that thought about the audio, it's partially because there's a different audio system here, and it just might not be as apparent. Mike's not quite as loud because the British Boxing Board will not allow microphones.
So Joshua's trying to figure out Takam a little bit too much. I think while you're trying to figure out your man, though, you should still be busy with the jab. Obviously easier said than done against a tricky guy like Takam. But you see Joshua kind of posing here. He's looking for just a perfect shot. Maybe just be snapping out the jab. Put Takam in positions where he's uncomfortable. Maybe he'll make the mistake you're looking for anyway.
Right hand by Joshua.
You see how he looked to measure that? He stuck out his left hand there. He looked to measure it and snap some of those jabs out like Takam is doing.
Both these men were Olympians, of course, and Takam, representing Cameroon, did not do as well as Joshua in the Olympics, but he had a very solid amateur career, and is a fighter that knows his way around the ring.
Now resides in France, looking to become the first person living in France to win a heavyweight title. Coming up on the final 30 seconds of the third round, and limited activity. Would like to see an uptick in the offense here with the big boys. And for Joshua, when it comes to defense, Al, over the last 4 fights, his opponents have only landed an average of 7 punches a round.
Yeah, it's pretty extraordinary. He has made a lot of progress in that area. And even though Klitschko is able to land some big punches, still Joshua's improved in that area.
Short right uppercut by Joshua as Takam leaned forward.
I'll tell you, Takam also, with that jab, you know, I'll tell you who's watching this fight probably and thinking to himself, I can have some success with the jab. With Deontay Wilder. Been successful, Takam, so far with that jab.
Anthony Joshua has started his career with 19 straight knockouts. The man who holds the record to start a heavyweight career, a title record with 32 consecutive knockouts, is none other than Deontay Wilder. He'll be in action 1 week from tonight against the man who, well, the only man to go the distance with him, the man he defeated to become WBC heavyweight champion. And of course, you know the Bronze Bomber is watching with vested interest tonight. Should Joshua be victorious tonight, Wilder victorious 1 week from tomorrow, it sets up what will potentially be the biggest showdown in the entire sport in 2018. This is round number 4.
You know, we talked a little bit about the weight. You know, Anthony Joshua, 254 pounds, the highest he's ever weighed. He said to us he didn't really want to be that heavy. He thought he was going to come in less than the 250 he weighed against Klitschko, which was the heaviest he'd weighed. He thought a lower weight will help him. Question is, will that extra weight bother him as the fight moves on? He thought it hurt him in terms of stamina against Klitschko.
Joshua had a 10-week training camp for this fight. His trainer, Robert McCracken, says the thing that stands out about Joshua from other fighters is his total belief in himself as action begins to pick up here in round 4 as Joshua puts together a 4-punch combination.
Takam kind of shrugged his shoulders. He smothered a lot of that, but at least Joshua's giving us the effort that we're looking for here. But it's cornering Takam that's kind of been befuddling him a little bit. And again, I got to keep repeating it. He's not cutting off the ring as Takam moves to the left. Takam will be a lot less comfortable if he doesn't see the opening to escape as often as he does get it.
Takam landed a right hand a moment ago, an overhand right. He'd like to repeat that again.
Now Takam backing himself up along the ropes, using lateral movement, trying to flash the jab as Joshua with a cuffing right hand to the side of Takam's head. Takam leaning in, rolled with that right hand. Now some gamesmanship on both parts as that right hand deflected off the temple of Joshua, who now puts together a right hand and a right uppercut on the inside out.
And it started with a counter right uppercut.
That's the punch that we knew he was going to be looking for in this fight, and it landed.
And Takam is cut.
Takam cut over the right eye, and it's already proving to be a problem. He's wincing, he's pawing at it with his glove, looking away.
Joshua was looking to go around the ref.
Is he giving up? The referee asked him, do you want to quit? He said no. Well, he just ate a combination from Joshua.
He may have been suggesting there was a clash of heads, which we didn't see.
I don't know. I know Josh was pretty tall to be able to get his head down that low.
Yeah.
I think it was either the counter uppercut or the follow-up uppercut to that counter.
Again, Takam leaning in and not throwing much, misses with that right cross.
Oh,
That right hand! Buckled Takam, the glove touched the canvas, and he goes down for the third time in his career.
And the eye is on that side of the hook. He might have not seen that hook coming.
He went down twice in his lone knockout loss against Alexander Povetkin.
We'll look back and see where Takam got in trouble at the beginning of this round. The nice right uppercut, which had followed the left hook by Anthony Joshua. Takam leading in, and that was where the cut happened from that hook or the right uppercut. Then we'll take a look at the knockdown. The jab, an effective weapon for him. And you see that the fact that that left hook is short and compact. That's where Anthony Joshua has made a lot of progress.
And that's a catch and shoot right there. You'll see Joshua catch the hook here and then shoot right back with his own hook.
And that replay brought to you by Halloween 2017.
Yeah.
And also even that uppercut we were talking about, see that beautiful counter by Joshua. That's all from positioning. If you lose your positioning as you're slipping punches, you lose your ability to counter. Joshua, most of the time, almost all the time, has great positioning, so he keeps himself balanced enough to be able to shoot that counter.
Fifth round underway here in front of an indoor record crowd of 78,000. Nice jab that popped Joshua's head back by Takam.
It's really an important moment in this fight. Can Takam survive here? Can he get this into later rounds?
Joshua again connects with the left hook, putting together the combinations, missed with that sweeping right hand.
I think Takam is trying to come forward a little bit, trying to fight a little bit more than he was earlier.
He's trying to survive and trying to protect that right eye.
No, he's not actually. He was coming out, really coming out
He's
fighting.
trying to protect that right eye, Paulie, with the right glove.
Here's the thing. He was moving around the ring earlier in the rounds. Now he's come out because he realizes he's on a shortened time frame.
Timeout called.
Sanders running out of the hourglass. I think he came out this round trying to be a little bit more aggressive, knowing he doesn't have a lot of time.
And the doctor will let him continue as they touch gloves and resume.
They did a decent job in the corner there to stop that blood flow. We'll see how it gets all around there.
Nice jab by Joshua. Stiff jab, popping Takam's head back, and Takam just leading with his head out.
Yeah, he's coming in, and Joshua has been very, very precise with his punches. He's not throwing wide punches, he's throwing compact punches, and against a smaller fighter like this, you have to do that.
Joshua just missing with the right uppercut and left hook. And the desperate Takam just lunging at Joshua, trying to land that right hand.
Takam needs an overhand right or a left hook, something to land to take the pressure off a little bit with Anthony Joshua.
Another jab as Takam walking through it and just continues to paw at that right eye. Under a minute left in the fifth.
He's more active with power shots, Takam. I don't know how effective they are, but he's trying to throw them, trying to make one last stand. I don't think he's got a lot of time left in this fight.
Left hook upstairs by Joshua, just measuring Takam. Lands the right, that one misses, connects with the left hook.
But as Takam holds his ground more, he's there as a target more for Joshua's onslaught.
Takam trying to work his way to the inside, but it's a minefield. Under 30 seconds left in the fifth frame.
I talked at the beginning about changing geography. Takam has not done that effectively. You know, he's either been in punching range or outside, not on the inside where he could at least do some work and smother some of those punches.
Joshua smiling, enjoying his handiwork. Just misses good. Head movement by Takam, missing the right and left from Joshua, coming back with his best combination.
while clearly this fight is going Anthony Joshua's way, this was a moment in the last round where Takam tried to throw a good combination, did get the jab in, and elicited some comments from Anthony Joshua. But that's what Takam has to try and do at least to keep Joshua off of him.
This is the 6th round, scheduled for 12. Anthony Joshua's 4th title defense. He steamrolled Charles Martin in April of 2016 to become a heavyweight titleist. Proceeded to stop the previously unbeaten Dominic Brazil, Eric Molina, and of course, in his last outing, defeated the legendary Vladimir Klitschko in what is the leading candidate for Fight of the Year. In fact, in Britain, it's already been awarded Fight of the Year, and Anthony Joshua's won Fighter of the Year.
And Rob McCracken got Trainer of the Year.
Clean sweep.
Yeah, exactly.
I guess it was in the bag.
Yeah.
I mean, they still have Hey Bellew 2 coming up. They didn't even give that a chance. The Bellew Hey 2. Yeah. Being that Tony won the first fight.
Joshua working the jab early here in round 6. None other than the Easton Assassin, legendary heavyweight champion Larry Holmes, who was known for his jab, Al, talking about Anthony Joshua, saying he would like to see him use the jab upwards of 30, 40 times around.
Yeah, and you know, Anthony Joshua has an excellent jab, and I thought Larry Holmes' comment was apt, whether he'd use it that much. You know, the prototype of big British heavyweights who are fantastic, Lennox Lewis, used that jab very effectively.
Lennox Lewis, the last great British heavyweight. And in fact, he defeated Frank Bruno here in Cardiff. Of course, a big shout out to Frank Bruno for his mental health advocacy. Wish him well in fighting the good fight as Anthony Joshua looking to do the same here in round 6 against challenger Carlos Takam.
That's where Joshua can be most effective on the inside against a short guy like Takam, is those catch and shoots that he often uses. It's hard to find openings on the inside when your arms are so long against a short guy, but those catch and shoots will do it.
And Joshua clubbing away on Takam upstairs. That right hand blocked.
This fight reminds me, many years ago, I did the fight between George Foreman and Dwight Muhammad Qawi, and ironically, Takam's dad was a Foreman fan. Very similar in terms of the dynamics of the two men, and George Foreman ultimately wore Qawi down. That's kind of what Joshua is doing here.
Takam using a modified shoulder roller, attempting to anyway. Ate a left hook from Joshua.
Another good example, George. That's even the difference in physical size, right?
Yeah.
And the style of Takam staying low.
Well, Takama's game. He's coming forward. 15 seconds left.
He's done a lot of good body work here, but you know, is that too little, too late for Takam?
Yeah, I feel like he's started a lot of body work in this round. You know,
another stiff jab by Joshua through the guard to end the round.
And that jab is not going to do the cut of Takam any favors.
We see the uppercut again from Anthony Joshua. That was a punch we knew coming in was going to be important to him, and it certainly has been thus far. We mentioned Joseph Parker landed a lot against Takam, and Joshua has as well, and it has stunned him. Takam trying to throw that overhand right and countered while he's doing it, so
beautiful
pretty
counter.
Extraordinary.
Not smiling so much there.
No.
Round 7. The heavyweight champ Anthony Joshua hoping to irrigate this contest with sheer force, but he's shown composure. He's been methodical. He's been measured, Paulie.
Yeah, he has. You know, he's taking his time against a guy like Takam, and he's opened things up. He scored the knockdown. He got that cut on the sharp counter. He opened up a big cut on Takam. You know, and now I think Takam still hasn't totally lost faith in the ability to try or win, but Joshua's starting to find the target more and more. And you see he's using the jab a lot more, like Al said last round in that Larry Holmes reference.
Hard to believe Joshua only has fought up to this fight 55 rounds as a professional, and all that led him to this amazing stage.
Oh, there's a right hand by Takam, and that has been his best weapon, if you want to call it that, thus far in this fight. And Al, in your keys, you talked about him landing that right.
Yeah, he's finding a home for it a little bit here, and would hope that, you know, this might be the start of something for him. Now we're heading into rounds that Anthony Joshua normally doesn't go to. Takam has been this distance a number of times, and has been 12 rounds twice. And Anthony Joshua only a couple of times past 7 rounds.
I like how Takam is setting up the right hand. He's throwing the hook right hand, as he got caught with the catch and shoot from Joshua when he used just the left hook on his own. So knowing that Joshua will sometimes come back with his own left hook, he'll come with the left hook and then shoot a right hand on the inside of what might be a Joshua hook. If you're throwing a shot, you can't protect your face, and Takam kind of realizes that, so he'll shoot the right hand sharp right off the left hook. There it is again.
We're in the second half of this championship affair. Al, how do you have it on your unofficial scorecard after 6?
I think every round has gone for Anthony Joshua, and of course he had a knockdown which created a 10-8 round, so I have him comfortably ahead in this fight.
Joshua told us that he would knock out Takam anywhere from round 10 to 12. And he even said he might have to target Takam's body with his shots, as Al Bernstein so eloquently put it in his keys. Is Takam trying to valiantly fight back here with 45 seconds left in the 7th.
And what that right hand does, it keeps Joshua's left hand home. If Takam keeps throwing right hands, Joshua can't come with his own left hook.
And even with a compromised right eye, Takam proving to be durable as advertised.
He really is, and you know, he's done some things offensively in this round. Not enough probably to win it, but enough to keep him in the fight.
Joshua finished with the hook there, but he's finishing with less and less hooks as Takam reacts with his own right hand, forcing Joshua to use his left hand to protect instead of throw.
Final 10 seconds of the 7th round. Joshua looking for that right uppercut on the inside.
And that uppercut's a big weapon because Takam constantly dips low when you get dangerous with him.
You know, for Carlos Takam, he was able in that round to land some right hands. He did get nailed with some good shots by Anthony Joshua, but the right hand became a very important weapon. Takam with the right, throwing combinations, and this is a point in the fight where he felt, and he mentioned to everyone before the fight, I think I can get some things done in these middle to later rounds.
The bell in round number 8, an indoor record crowd of 78,000 here at Principality Stadium in Cardiff, Wales, watching their favorite son, Anthony Joshua, make the 4th defense of his heavyweight title. And Carlos Takam, the challenger, on less than 2 weeks' notice here in round 8, has been down once in the fight and has, well, had to worry about that cut over his right eye. And his cut man has done a great job of keeping him in the fight.
I mentioned that Takam has been longer in terms of distance. He's been 10 rounds 5 times and 12 rounds twice. Joshua only passed the 10th round once in his career.
Yeah,
so
Takam's trainer is also his cut man, Joseph Germain.
Yes.
I like how Takam's punching off that rhythm, though. At least, you know, he's keeping Joshua thinking with that rhythm. Joshua can't just get reckless and throw anything. And Takam will shoot a jab here and there. And that's what he needs to do to kind of keep Joshua overthinking at times, and it buys him time. Some tape loose on the glove of Anthony Joshua on the right glove.
Good look there at Rob McCracken, a former fine fighter himself in the 1990s, fought for a world title. The Olympic coach for Great Britain, has done a wonderful job with Anthony Joshua, also trained Carl Froch.
Carl Froch, a part of the Sky Sports broadcast team, and the road just ahead of us here are partners. We come to the United Kingdom, and what a year it has been, not only for fights in the UK, but the entire sport of boxing. But man, Anthony Joshua, 2 fights, over 165,000 tickets sold.
Yeah, it's been a long time since we saw anything like that, if ever.
Joshua pawing away at Takam with the jab before attacking with a combination. 60 seconds left now in the 8th round.
We mentioned that Takam went 12 rounds with Joseph Parker, who has another one of the heavyweight championships.
Beautiful body work by Joshua, setting up the left hook upstairs.
Takam doing a good job of catching it on the glove, because if you don't catch those on the glove, you wind up like Takam did earlier in the fight on the canvas.
Right cross, though, that scored for Joshua. Man, for poor Takam, that right glove's like a windshield wiper, Al. He's trying to keep blood out of both eyes.
He's got a lot going on in there.
I tell you, he's giving a good effort, though, man. I mean, he's not going to win this fight the way it's going, but I tell you, he's conducting himself with a lot of character, and he's giving Joshua a lot to think about. Every fight is still an experience for Joshua. You know, he didn't have a long amateur career. He's done great throughout his entire career, amateur and pro, but experiences like this, nonetheless, are things he can take home and improve on.
The Joshua jab kind of went dormant there for a moment.
All right, here's what's coming up on Showtime Sports Tuesday, Halloween night, 9 o'clock. It's another edition of the Emmy Award-winning Inside the NFL. James Brown, Phil Simms, Boomer Esiason, and Ray Lewis will give you the NFL sight, sounds, and spectacle of every game every week. And as we've already talked about, 1 week from tonight, Saturday, November 4th, we're back at Barclays Center for undefeated WBC heavyweight champion Deontay Wilder in a rematch against the man he beat for the title, Berman Stavern. Showbox, the new generation, returns to Showtime Friday, November 10th. In the main event, it's a 10-round featherweight bout, undefeated Luis Rosa against Wandale Evans. And coming in January, undefeated welterweight champion Errol Spence Jr. will make the first defense of his title against former 2-division champ Lamont Peterson. Referee calling for a timeout just before the start of the 9th round. And the doctor will allow Takam to continue. He has been defeated 3 times, but stopped just once, and that was against Alexander Povetkin in what was the 2014 heavyweight scrap of the year out.
Yeah, that was a spectacular fight. We're at a point here now where now we have to look to see if Takam can make anything happen in these rounds. Would Anthony Joshua slow down a bit? Is the weight having an impact on him? We'll have to watch closely to see if that's the case.
I'll tell you, what makes Joshua stop jabbing a lot of times is Takam's head movement. It kind of befuddles Joshua a little bit. Instead of snapping that jab, he kind of starts to paw out with the left hand. As soon as Takam's head movement kind of slows down, Joshua becomes more effective with the jab, and he becomes more confident with it.
Round 10. In fact, he reportedly followed Joshua back to his hotel room after Joshua defeated Dominic.
Into this 10th round once before, and we saw in the last round, Takam starting to...
Joshua did predict he was going to stop Takam late in the fight.
Yeah, he said
through 12.
Between round 10 to 12.
Oh,
nice right hand.
Against all odds that he's
He tried to smother at first, but Joshua made a good move to create space.
And the referee. Takam like a cork, and despite being abstemious, you know that the AJ Army will be popping bottles all night long.
Rocked, but he wasn't doing bad. Like, there was worse points in this fight for Takam to stop this fight if you were really going to stop him at this point.
Joshua's prediction comes true here in round 10. He's now 20-0 all. (2018). Question on many people's minds in North America: will he become?
He controlled most of it, maybe lost a couple rounds if that, and showed us, I thought, excellent uppercut on the inside. Takam shook a little bit, there's no question about that. He's wobbled in. Gets hit with another right hand, but clearly he's dodging punches.
And he actually hit the last hook because he's in a headlock from the last right hand. Well, see?
Here we go.
And then he takes the hook because he's in the headlock.
Yeah, so clearly an issue there for the him later in the round. Had that all continued,